Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Matthew Stanley Ward. I'm 19 years old and I live in beautiful sunny Cyprus. Now, a very important fact about me is I love martial arts. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, which I recently got this year. And as far as just being a normal martial arts fan, I am an ecstatic fan of mixed martial arts. Now, for those of you who do not know what mixed martial arts is, it is basically all forms of fighting put together. So you've got your stand-up fighting, which is your boxing or your Muay Thai. You've got your wrestling, usually coming from American wrestling, or judo, and then your ground fighting by meaning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mainly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you put all these art forms together to form mixed martial arts. Now, there's some pretty big events coming up lately in the biggest MMA organisation in the entire world, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, also known as the UFC. Now, the biggest fight of all time, which is coming up soon, it's on UFC 155, the pay-per-view card. It is Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez, the second fight, and this fight is for the UFC World Heavyweight Championship. Now, anyone can understand it's a heavyweight title, so that means big odds are on the line. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about these fighters. Now, on Matt's Fight Corner here, what I'll be doing is I'll be breaking down the main event of each UFC fight card, or as many as I can do. I will give you the strengths and weaknesses of both competitors, and then I will give you my personal opinion on who I think will come out of the victor. We've got a bit of a tricky one here with Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez. They fought before last year. I'm giving you a bit of backstory. They fought last year in UFC on Fox, the very first Fox fight card. The fight lasted 64 seconds. The winner, Junior Dos Santos by overhand right. He knocked out Cain Velasquez and is now the UFC heavyweight title champion. He's recently defended his title against Frank Mir at UFC 146, knocked him out in the second round. Velasquez also fought on that card and fought Antonio Bigfoot Silva, who TKO'd Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor Emelianenko, of course, being one of the greatest heavyweight competitors of all time. Cain Velasquez completely stormed through Antonio Silva, cut him up, bloodied him up, and forced a stoppage. So Cain Velasquez has come back in a big way. Now let's go over to the strengths and weaknesses. We'll start off with the champ, Junior Dos Santos, also known as Cigano, also known as JDS. Now, his biggest strength is his boxing. Anyone who is a fan of mixed martial arts and also is a fan of Dos Santos knows that his main power is from his boxing. He has some of the best boxing, if not the best boxing, in mixed martial arts. He has very accurate punches, which is another one of his great strengths, is his accuracy. If you ever watch videos of him on YouTube of when he hits pads, or even in his fights, you see how accurate his punches are. Another big thing about Dos Santos is his sprawl. In other words, his takedown defense. He doesn't get taken down that many times. He's only been taken down by Shane Carwin, and even that wasn't for that long. He did manage to stand back up as soon as the takedown was initiated. As well as that, he did manage to score takedowns against Shane Carwin in that fight. He did go on to win that fight by unanimous decision. Yeah, so as I was saying, his biggest asset is his boxing. He has won nearly all of his fights, except for 2 fights, by knockout. He knocked out Fabricio Verdun with a uppercut from hell, knocked out Velasquez with that big overhand right. When he first debuted in the UFC, in his first 4 fights, he knocked out every single guy they put in front of him. Every single guy. The 2 decisions was to Roy Big Country Nelson, who as we all know is a very durable fighter, and to Shane Carwin. Moving over to the challenger, Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez is without a doubt in the elite of the heavyweight fighters in the world today. Now, Cain Velasquez's strength is his wrestling. He is again one of the best wrestlers in the heavyweight division. If Cain Velasquez is shooting for a takedown, 10 times out of 10 he's going to be taking you down. He did it to Silva, just completely out of the gate, took him down, imposed his will. There's another thing about Velasquez. He imposes his will on you. It doesn't matter how big you are. Brock Lesnar, Stefan Struve, Bigfoot Silva. It does not matter who you put in front of Velasquez. He will tear through you. His striking is pretty good, but not on the level of Junior Dos Santos. Another big thing about Velasquez is his endless tank. In other words, his stamina. A lot of people have quoted saying that Cain Velasquez has the stamina of a lightweight. The lightweights weigh 155 pounds. The heavyweights, they have to weigh in at 265. That's the biggest percentage that they can weigh in at. So you can imagine a big heavyweight like Velasquez can outwork welterweights and lightweights in the gym. And he has never got tired in the octagon. And every time that Cain Velasquez steps into the octagon, he usually finishes his fights. Another thing about Velasquez is his ground and pound. Being a wrestler, it comes with the territory, as we all know. The majority of wrestlers are big ground and pounders. The other half are the lay and pray motherfuckers. But the other percentage of the wrestlers are the ground and pounders, starting from the great Mark the Hammer Coleman, who revolutionized taking somebody down and not just laying there and winning points by control, but by getting up, posturing and laying down bombs. You're a heavyweight, you've got big hands, and Velasquez uses this. That is his game plan in every single fight. It's take you down, land those big shots, get into better positions and just finish you. Now those are the strengths of our two competitors. We move over to weaknesses now. Starting from the champ again, JDS. His biggest weakness, in my opinion, is the fact that he's got questionable cardio and defense off his back. What I mean by this is Junior Dos Santos does not have the stamina tank of Cain Velasquez, but we've not seen it tested, and that's the big issue in my train of thought, is that we've not seen it tested. So and it's a 25-minute fight. The longest JDS has gone is 15 minutes. We've not seen him go into the championship rounds. When he was fighting against Roy Nelson towards the end of round 3, which was the 15-minute round, he looked tired. He looked like he was gassing out. But then again, that was 2 years ago. So obviously a lot of things changed. He's been training a lot harder. Training has advanced in the last 2 years, I would assume. But his defense off his back, he's not well known for his jiu-jitsu, though. It has been put around here and there that he's got pretty good jiu-jitsu, but we've not seen him get put on his back against a high-level caliber wrestler like Cain Velasquez, who can keep him in that bottom position and make it a hell of a time for him. The weakness of the challenger, Cain Velasquez, also known as the Terminator, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if that's his official fight nickname, but I do know that's what Dana White's called him on occasion. Leave comments in the comment bars below and just let me know whether that's true or not. Anyways, weaknesses. So his biggest weakness is his striking defense. Two big issues stand out in his striking defense. In his unanimous decision win against Cheick the Darkness Kongo, I don't know the Darkness, anyways, he was knocked down quite a few times in that fight. The stand-up game in that fight was dominated by Kongo, the wrestling and grappling obviously by Dos Santos. He did not, luckily Velasquez did not get finished, though he was very close to getting finished, because Cheick Kongo is a big striker, he landed clean on Velasquez's chin. Actually, Kongo's shots landed cleaner than what Dos Santos' shot did. But anyways, he was knocked down in that fight, and that did play over in my mind as we led into the first fight. And then obviously 64 seconds, and Velasquez got knocked out by a big overhand right by Dos Santos. So that's where I'm thinking that maybe his striking defense isn't that good, and that's where he's had a few problems in the past. Grappling, no problem at all. I don't think anyone will give him problems in grappling. He's got a very dominant top game. If he wants to, he can keep Dos Santos down there. So, fight predictions. Now, to tell you the truth, this is actually one of the closest fights I've ever had to try and make a decision of, because in my opinion, both fighters' strengths and their weaknesses cancel each other out. This is a very even fight, and in the last fight, I would have said the same for the last fight. If both fighters show up on the day 100% and not hold back, then I have no idea who's going to win. But if one of them doesn't show up, like what happened last time, Velasquez did not show up. He started off just throwing leg kicks, not shooting for a takedown, and then he got knocked out. Now Velasquez knows that can happen again if he does not pursue his game plan, if he does not stick to what brought him to the dance, and that is his takedowns. It will happen to him again. Now, but Dos Santos knows that that's what Velasquez is thinking. I mean, it's obvious. So Dos Santos must definitely have been working on his takedown defense. If Dos Santos doesn't turn up on that day, then it will be Velasquez that wins. But if both fighters turn up with no injuries at all, 100% in their prime, and they leave it all in there, I have no idea who's gonna turn out. I mean, I like both of them. I lean more towards Dos Santos because I like his boxing. Then again, I like both fighter styles because they're two heavyweight finishers. But I don't really think I can pick a winner in this fight. I mean, okay, the cliche thing is to say that the people that will win in this fight is the fans, but it's true. The fans are gonna get a hell of a fight. They're gonna get a hell of a fight, and with no doubt about it, this fight will prove who is the baddest man on the planet. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into the very first episode of Matt's Fight Corner. I'll be back with you after UFC 155 and announce the winner of Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez 2, and hopefully I'll be back for the next time to preview and give the strengths and weaknesses of the very next UFC fight card. This is Matt Ward signing out to you. I'll see you guys later.
Let's excuse me, baby. Go, yeah, you baby. Back, oh, you groovy, baby. In, let's make a movie, baby. Time, excuse me, baby. Let's, yeah, you baby. Go, oh, you groovy, baby. Back, let's make a movie, baby. Time. It's Mr. Worldwide, Agent A.